Hello everyone! Alright, I'm going to talk quickly about the next project that I'm going to be working on for a little while now. I've been on a mission to refill all my molds for the Gen 2 for the mini cars, so I'm pretty pleased with the outcome. There is I think the collection is pretty filled up now, pretty nice. The last one that you guys didn't see online yet is the redo of the Gander NASCAR. Hold on, I have one right down here, which is this one. So this is the Gen 2 for the Gander NASCAR that is going to be coming out, but I have to do all the sticker sheet and so on with it, and then the GTX that came out. So I'm gonna take a little break from the Mini for a while and concentrate on my favorite 110 car that I've made, which is my favorite to look at on the shelf and my favorite to drive as well. But it gets some issues that I will talk about, and so I've been doing more 112 buddies for my pan cars, and I've been doing the buddies for my trike. Including the Delta Wing, and I did as well for my MST, for my CFX, for my crawler. I did the Jeep Willys, and so I find pretty good ways to do multi-part buddies that assemble in a very strong way and that allow me to have a lot of shapes and details that would be really hard to get in one piece. And so for that car, this is my F103 GT from Tamiya that I have customized in order to look like an old Ferrari 166, something like that. Listen to the sound. It needs a new servo, but it still works. And so the chassis is just the basic chassis. All I've done is raise up all the elements in order for the chassis to still be low and to be able to use my own design of wheels that looks like wire wheels that are 3D printed in ABS at the moment, and I am using the front two-wheel drive tires from Tamiya buggies all around. So we have those super narrow tires which have a pretty good amount of grip, I have to say, on the track. This is a really super nice car to drive. And the body that I've been using at the moment, it is the Sprinter body from RJ Speed, and basically all I've done is 3D print the exhausts over there and change the driver, and that's pretty much it. But I think it looks pretty cool. It's not a perfect in any way, shape or form replica of what the car looks like, but it works, and I've always wanted to be able to do a kit with something like that, and then I realized that I already have a pod for the F103 GT, because the pods that I have designed for the trike and for my pan cars are all based on what I used to use, which was the plastic F103 GT pods originally. So this is an F103 T-plate. So this mounts at the back over there, and I can increase I can reverse, sorry, the adapters over there to get more height, and then I can put an adapter at the bottom. And for the front, I like the F103's front ends. I think they're pretty neat, but I also very much like Team Saxo, so I went online and got myself an F1 rear axle diff from Team Saxo, as well as a Team Saxo F1 front end that I think is a little bit, I don't know if it's nicer, but it's sexier than the all plastic F103 GT from Tamiya. So it's got a carbon base, and then it's got the nice arms. It's adjustable as well, which this one isn't, so you're gonna be able to have some negative camber in the front. So I mean, all this is going to be pretty cool. And so what I'm going to do, I think I am going to work same as the F103 GT. I'm going to work from FRP, and I'm going to do a similar design that I have done on my pan car or my trike, which is a no T-plate one-piece chassis. But the T-plate is cutted inside the chassis, so you have all the spring and the flex directly from the chassis, but no separate T-plates. And so this way I'm going to be able to mount the battery just easier. You see what I've done here with the F103 GT. Normally the battery is transversal to the chassis, and so I have redesigned battery mounts that act as T-plate mount as well, and so the battery is raised about 5 millimeters. And then I designed a new upper deck, just very rough cuts and so on, but it's very trouble to remove the upper plate and play around to change the battery and so on. So I'm gonna figure out something else. The front is going to be similar, but that's what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for an FRP, probably 2 decks like that, with the flex plate at the bottom. There's going to be a damper tube at the top instead of the shock. It's just going to be the damper tube. So same thing that I've done on my pan car. It's going to use my own pod, but I have a mount over there that is the same mount for the F103 and the F104W. The upper carbon plate, I have one that is designed for the F103 and F104, so I'm going to use that. And then I need to redesign the tires in order to have, because the F103 GT of course is using Touring 12mm X all around, and I'm going to use the 17 millimeters F1 for the rear, and I'm going to make the rear thicker as well as they are now, and the front I'm going to run on ball bearing like F1s. So I'm going to redesign the wheels. They're not going to be FDM printed in ABS. I'm going to make them in SLA, so I'm going to be able to have a ton more details into them. And the other parts that are going to be in SLA are going to be whatever height adjusters I have to do for the front, the rear. And in between, I'm probably going to use the metal poles, the same types that I have on the trike and on the pan car, instead of 3D printed ones, just for durability. And those really don't break. What I mean by durability is that at some point there is fatigue with the screwing in and out, and then you just lose the thread inside, the same way you do with a self-tapping plastic. At some point the plastic just, if you thread and unscrew all the time, at some point the plastic just loses its ability to thread. So that's the big project that I have, that I'm going to be working on. And so the chassis is going to be very similar to somewhat to this one, but more on the side of my pan car and my trike, in the way that it's going to be a single lower plate. And then for the upper deck, I'm going to see how do I manage. Probably going to be 2-piece. I need to have a system where it's super easy to get rid of the battery and change it without removing any screws. So that's one thing I have to work on. Knowing that I'm going to work on dampers, I might have actually a big open space to put the battery in and out in the middle. So this is something I'm going to have to figure out. And for the body, so this is the body I was trying to emulate with the RJ Speed's Sprinter body. So this is already made body that you can buy. I bought mine, I think, on A-Main. I bought another one on eBay. I think they are really easy to find. They are nice. You can buy them. I think I bought the kit with the chassis that comes with 2 Sprinter bodies. And yeah, so this time I'm going to try to base my design a lot more on the 166, and the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to have the rear parts that is going to be in one piece, and that is most likely going to be mounted, not permanently, but mounted on the rear of the body. So well, I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna, if I have something solid at the back or if I have something removable easily. I'm not sure yet, but this is going to be the one piece here when you have the bonnet line over there, and then you can see the panel that is a bit bulging out here. So there's going to be the rear parts in one piece. All the interior, I think I'm going to model a nice driver, because I'm going to print in SLA, and I'm going to try to have as much nice scale detailed, more like a model than an RC car. And then the way I'm going to do the fronts, I think that's where I need to spend a lot of time doing it, is I want to have the lower parts and the fronts of the car, the nose and the lower parts and the engine in one piece, and then the bonnet as another piece that you could open and close, probably adding some straps around to hold it in place, or velcros or something like that. But that's what I want to do. I want to have a car that you can display much more like a 110 model, and have a nicely vacuum formed engine bay, possibly with some plastic details on it. I'm not sure yet. It's going to depend on what kind of space I can get inside once I have the front end and the servo. And then the wire wheels are going to be much more details than what I have here. I don't think I'm going to be able to have things that are opened like that, but it is going to be, you see, I've done something a little bit deep that looks like wire wheels, but now that I'm going to be doing them in SLA, I can go really crazy with the details. So I'm going to go all out on the wheels. I'm going to use the same tire that I'm using now, because I think the diameters and the width really match the whole look of the car, and the drivability is top like that. The thing that I'm running for drivability as well is a gyro. This makes a huge difference on a low traction track, and it's so much fun to have the tail coming out in the corners. It really looks like, you know, those old movies you see when those cars are just drifting every time they make a turn. So contrary to my classic minis that are more of the late 20s and early 30s F1, I'm gonna go more for the 50s for this one, and it's not gonna be branded Ferrari. It's just gonna look very close to that. And then once I have the chassis figured out, and that I find a really neat way to get the body all multi-part and assembled, and if it works, then I'm going to be able to do probably 1 to 2 more bodies for it. But the main objective is to be able to have a super simple chassis that is going to use existing parts, so boutique manufacturing, a little bit like I did in the beginning with my Trike, using my now tested rear pod, which is fairly inexpensive as well, which is actually a really good pod if you have an F103 or an F104W, because it's getting really difficult to find those old aluminum pods now. They are all, you still find some, but they are not being produced anymore. So this is a nice pod, and it's really flexible, so I'm really happy with this. So this is gonna go at the back, and so you're not going to see that much madness with things coming out, because this is going to take me some time, and I have a lot of work to do now on all the other sides of the selling products, which is, you know, making sure I restock all my hang tags and my bags and my stickers and all of the above. And for my friends in China, I am working hard to get a Tobo store, so I'll be able to sell probably directly on the Chinese marketplace as well at some point in the near future. So that's another thing that's going to take a lot of energy, because there is a lot of hoops to go through to be able to sell in the mainland, even though I'm in Hong Kong. So that's where I'm at now, and you guys let me know, first of all, what do you think sorry for the noise, of those 50s F1s? I personally think these are the sexiest thing on the roads, those open wheels, narrow wheels, drifting. Even the 30s one, I might actually, if I have a platform that works as well, and a body that goes nicely and that is really sturdy on the road. I might do some more like my classic minis, like the Mephistos or so. So here you go. That's my little update. So be patient for the release. There's going to be the NASCAR very soon on the web store. Oh, I have a wing now as well for the back mono, so you can replace the more realistic wheel wing that I have at the back now with not realistic at all, but efficient. Hold on, my buddy posts came out. So you can replace the whole rear end. You keep actually the existing wheel, but you just add this enormous all the way along, pretty large, not too aggressive, but it's fairly steep at the back, and it's a bit circular. You see, it's not straight. So this is available as well for anybody who's got the back mono and who feels the downforce is never enough. Alright, so that's my little update for today, and I think I'm going to get I'm going to get the process of designing this on tape probably, so this way if anybody's interested in chassis designs and then boutique manufacturing, because I think, I ended up making my own pod because it became so hard during the pandemic to get parts from Japan, and so and I get a lot of comments of people telling me, how dare you use plastic pods. So I went aluminum. I didn't want to buy something from another brand and rely on shipping and so on. So I've designed that, but that didn't come right away. And then for the front end, I'm still using existing front ends. I really like the Team Saxo stuff. They are inexpensive. They work really well. They are usually super neat to put together. So I'll probably film most of the process of designing this thing, and like a little bit like I did for the mold design. So if anybody is into that, then we'll get a bit more info about that. Right, so on that note, everybody stay safe, and I will be back with more updates on that and other stuff soon. Alright, see you, bye bye.